So I've owned my Model 3 now for about 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and do the scheduled maintenance on it. And it's really basic for the Model 3. It just consists of replacing the 2 cabin filters, as well as checking and replacing the brake fluid if needed. I am going to go ahead and change the brake fluid, not today, just to be on the safe side, since brake fluid does absorb water. It's called hygroscopic. And so if there's enough water in the system, it can damage some of the brake components. I assume it could be fine for up to 4 years, but 2 years is typically recommended by the manufacturers, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. But today I'm just going to show you how to replace the cabin filters. I did pick these up on Tesla's website. They're about $14 a piece, and you need 2 of them. So it's not too expensive, and I guess originally I was seeing on some of the forums that Tesla didn't even have them on their site not too long ago, and so you had to actually go to Tesla directly or purchase an aftermarket filter, which was actually 2 or 3 times as expensive as the OEM Tesla filters. So yeah, just go ahead and order them on Tesla's website. So to gain access to the cabin filters, you actually have to remove the side panel here. It's actually covered in carpet. It doesn't look like it comes off, but I guess it does. Second step is to remove the panel underneath the glove compartment. There's actually 3 clips that hold it on. And then after you do that, you should get access to the compartment where the filters are housed. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off first and then see how I can get to the filters from there. I think there's a few screws you have to remove. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And to make the job easier, I actually have a set of trim removal tools that I purchased, I think, on Amazon or eBay a while back. And they're pretty cheap, and they actually prevent you from scratching the trim or damaging the trim, so I definitely recommend picking these up and not trying to use a screwdriver. It's probably end up costing you more money in the long run if you damage something. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those panels off, and then how to remove the filters. Underneath the glove compartment, you'll see 3 different plastic clips that you need to remove. So I discovered that there are actually 4 clips, not 3. And so the pin of the clip should pull out, and then that should release it from the plastic behind it. So go ahead and remove this first, since I actually noticed that the side panel actually needs to be removed after the panel under the glove compartment, since it blocks it from being pulled off. So definitely remove the panel under the glove compartment first before you move on to the side panel. So I'm going to try to show you how to pop these out. And so there's a little groove in the clip, and you can actually put the tool under it. And once it pops out, then just take the little fork end of the tool and then pull it down the rest of the way. And you'll do the same for the other 2. And so I noticed that there are actually 4 pins, not 3. So there's 4 that you have to either pull out or remove. Some of them fell out, and not sure why that is, but to just make sure they go in correctly. But it looks like the panel is loose now. There's actually a little hole that you can pull down on the side, and so it looks like it should fall down. Hopefully those clips didn't break, but I was really careful with it. So there we go. So this should fall down, and there are a few electrical connectors that need to be removed, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those off before I get the panel out of the way. So I got the 2 clips removed. The small one here has a little release pin or a little lever in the back that you have to pull down to remove it, and the other one was actually pretty loose and just pulled right out. So after you unplug those, then you can remove the panel. And then go ahead and pull off this side panel here. It's the panel removed. And these clips are pretty tight, probably because it's never been pulled off before. But now that should give you access to the filter housing. It's right there. So I think there are two T20 screws that are in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my T20 bit and pull those out. Just one thing to keep in mind is there's this orange high voltage cable, and so you have to make sure not to damage that or pull on it, because I guess it could be a bad day if you do that. So didn't notice it was unclipped. So this actually is held on, I guess, by the panel itself. So I don't know if it just fell off or it was already unclipped. I'm not sure. But you have to pull this off slightly before this plastic cover will come off. So what is strange, I don't actually see. I don't actually see any screws at all. And I think in the Tesla instructions they actually said that there was. So let's see. So what I actually noticed was the screw is actually way up under the dash, and it's actually not where I thought it was. So if you follow that orange cable where it's connected, if you follow this up, you'll see that there's a screw way up underneath here. So I'm gonna actually have to grab a shorter screwdriver to put the bit in, because a regular length screwdriver will not fit up there. So I'm gonna have to go grab that and then remove this screw, and then after doing so, this should just pull off, from what I understand. So you shouldn't actually have to remove this cable from the plastic cover. It should just sort of slide off, hopefully. But I noticed some of this is not even connected. Looks like that should be connected to something, but it's not actually. Yeah, it's not actually connected to anything. I mean, you can see this one slides in right here, but this one's actually disconnected. Anyway, I'll have to look at that later, because I don't believe that I pulled that off. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove that screw and then pull this cover off. So I was able to get the screw removed. It's actually buried pretty far up under the dash, but the panel is really loose now, so it should just pull right off. And let's see, there are the filters. I think I can slide this cable over a little bit just to get it out of the way. But you can see the filters. Filters are right there. So I think you can just pull this right out. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So notice that these are yellow, which are not, which the new ones I don't think are. So I'm gonna pull this out. Yeah, I mean, it looks a little dirty, but not actually too bad. Let's see. Yeah, I guess this white side, or now brown side, is actually where the intake is. So this is where the air actually enters and then is filtered. So yeah, there is some, looks like bugs or some other dirt fibers in there. So yeah, it definitely is dirty. The car only has 10,000 miles on it right now. or maybe, I think it's actually a little more than 10,000. It might be 11,000 now. So it doesn't have a ton of mileage on it, but yeah, it is dirty. So it's good to go ahead and replace these. And I live in a climate that's damp and wet most of the year, so I assume that there could be mold or something that could eventually grow in here, but I haven't had any bad smells at all. The car's been fine as far as that aspect. So the other filter, I think, slides up, and then you can pull it out as well. Yeah, this filter is actually way dirtier. Yeah, this one's actually pretty dirty. So yeah, definitely after 2 years you're going to want to replace it. I think they stated in China you should replace it every year. I mean, I guess probably because of the pollution there is a lot worse. But yeah, definitely replace your cabin filters. If you went more than 2 years, they'd be pretty clogged. So I'm going to go ahead and install the new filters. Yeah, so the new filters are actually yellow on one side. I didn't actually pull them out of the box. So I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, I guess they're made in Germany, so I don't know if they're the same filters that the other German manufacturers use. But they should go in the same way that they came out. So the yellow side is actually facing toward you or towards the back of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together the way it came off. So yeah, I should feel it all pop back in place. And then you can go ahead and install this panel. Yeah, like I said, some of these didn't pop out or fell out. They should actually stay in place. So you should be able to just pull this pin out and then you can slide them back in. But I don't know if they're going to stay. Yeah, this one's actually a lot looser. They're all the same size. You're gonna have to plug the cables back in. So that was actually 10 times harder than it needed to be. But there's two plastic or almost rubber tabs that are far up under the dash, and you actually have to bend those down while you're pushing the panel in. And you have to basically crawl up underneath. So a little harder than I thought it would be. I mean, it's not hard, it's just frustrating trying to get the tabs to slide in the back of the panel. And after you get those in, it pops right in, and then you can just put the 4 pins back in. But everything's back together. And one thing I forgot to mention was you do want to turn off your HVAC before you go ahead and try to remove the filters because it will be running if your car's on or your phone's nearby. But yeah, got it all back together. I just need to vacuum some of this stuff, dirt that fell from underneath, and then put the mat back in. But I don't know how much money I saved by doing it myself, but yeah, it definitely isn't something that I would go to the dealer for. Maybe the average person would, but it's not that difficult. Just kind of a pain to get up underneath the dash. But anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. You know, there's some other sites I guess you could probably look at as well to help out, but yeah, I don't see any easier way to get that panel back in without actually climbing under there and pulling the tabs down so it slides in. But yeah, definitely could have been an easier way to design that, at least to be able to get it in and out. But anyway, I hope that helped.